I appreciate the update to my profile picture, Hugo or David.
I'll give you two guesses on who did that one. I'm the
Tessa.
No.
I'm old enough not to do this anymore, so.
Wait a second, I think Hugo's old.
It's the mental age, just, you know.
That's right. I was going to say I'm older than you, so that doesn't work.
See, that's where Hugo calls you a duty pants and runs away. I don't act like a kid, you duty pants.
Shows your face.
Good morning, everyone. It's May 15th. Yes, it is. Welcome to the Viva Connections SharePoint Framework Biweekly Sync. I'm your host, Bo. I will be going to the dentist soon, so don't worry about my profile picture. We got lots of great content today. So our agenda, I need to learn how to use PowerPoint. Our agenda, we're going to get the latest updates from SharePoint Framework. And as always, we'll chat about the community updates across all of our repositories, projects, and tooling. We'll have everyone's favorite time, which is picture time. And then we have some great demos. Aimery's going to talk about building dynamic newsletter promotion using SPFx. Is Shubham presenting, David?
Should we? Yep. So, yep.
Okay. Shubham will be showing a demo of building personalized SharePoint landing page with SPFx, and then Ejaz is going to show us how to create custom rich text editor web part using Fluent UI and RoosterJS. All right, whether you're a longtime listener or a first-time caller, we have a lot of great resources for you, whether you're looking to engage with community on our LinkedIn, review past calls or demos on our YouTube, or if you just want to check out a lot of our open source or sample code on our GitHub repositories for the tooling, SDKs, and projects that we have a lot of great resources for you, all of which you can find at aka.ms/community/home. In addition to this call, which you are currently on, we also have a myriad of other calls as well. So if you have interest in Power Platform, updates from Microsoft, or just looking to learn a bit more, we basically have calls every single week for you to attend. And if you can't attend them, we also post them 24 hours after the call on our YouTube, and you can download all of the recurring events at aka.ms/community/calls. What happened? There we go. Our next call is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform weekly call happening on the 20th of May at 8 a.m. Pacific time, where you can hear the latest updates from the Microsoft engineering team. As always, we will also have a picture as well. And then we have two demos. One is adding actions to custom engine agents. And then the other is a demo of a SharePoint Hackathon project, a insurance company's process to streamline through SharePoint agents. And if you're working on something cool or you would like to share a project with the community, we welcome everyone to present and demo on these calls. So if you are interested, you can submit a request to aka.ms/community/request/demo. And then latest updates from David.
Yes, thank you, Bo. So Sharing is Caring is on Monday, everybody. We've got a session ready for you. And if you're saying, well, what is Sharing is Caring and why should I care? It is the gateway to contributions in the community, everybody. So it's going to power you up, right? It is live. It is hands-on. It is a safe space, which means that we don't record it, so you can ask any and all questions. So come join us along with other members of the community. It's a great way to learn. It is hands-on. Like I said, bring any and all questions. They're all great. We're going to learn together, and it counts as a contribution. And why does that matter? Well, when we go to the next slide, you will get a badge for it as long as you opt into our recognition program. It is absolutely free. It is powered by Credly, and it is one of the best in the community that you can be part of. So all these cool badges like Prompt Pro, Simple Source for all the modern search, and all these new things like our Star Wars campaign right now, right? That lightsaber opportunity to get all these badges are good for the rest of this month and next month. So all you got to do, opt in, aka.ms/community/recognition. We cover all the costs. It's a great way to be recognized. Shows you're making a difference, and we love you for it. Bo, back to you.
This is Paolo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking about recognition, if you are into the development or extensibility of Microsoft 365 Copilot, most likely you are interested into learning something more about how to do that. So go to aka.ms/copilot devcamp. And if you go there and you add /award, you can see how you can collect a set of badges. This will be the final week, so you need to rush your efforts. And if you can go to the next slide, we want to say congrats to all of the folks that achieved this goal in the last week. And specifically, we want to say congrats to Peter Paul Kircher, who was able to get the Sample Sensei badge. So one more week to go. Go there, study, learn how to extend Copilot, and get your badge. Thank you. Back to you, Bo.
Awesome. Thank you, Paolo. All right. And next, updates from the SharePoint framework. Vesa.
Yes, quick updates in here. The growth is pretty amazing again, like we have seen in the past as well. There are some seasonal dips like the Eastern and spring period, but we did actually all-time highest usage on SPFx worldwide on this week's Monday, which is pretty mind-boggling that it's doing that still. Let's go to the following slide. And just to recap, 121.1 is actually the latest version. 121 as kind of a semi-major version came out on 23rd of April, and we did roll out an update on that one roughly on 2nd of May, so 121.1 is the latest, and that is updating people to Node.js 22 and a few other technical updates and a few other things like the flexible layout adjustments and properties for the web parts. Now, 122 beta is coming really, really soon. We're looking into rolling that out within next week, potentially a week after, and that's a beta version, but this is basically, we want to roll this out super early because it's going to change a bit about the pipelines and build pipelines from Gulp for the benefit of WebStack and all of that stuff, and I want to actually get some feedback on that. ETA for 122 is roughly in August timeframe, I would guess. So it is basically rolling out to beta super early. And as part of 122, we're looking into updating to React 18 at least, and a few other things as well. But again, that's coming out roughly in August timeframe, so we will need to wait until past the key summer moments. On the semester focus areas, card web parts for SharePoint, blog post on that one actually went live 30 minutes before this call, so it is rolling right now. So that means that any SharePoint site within a SharePoint can actually have a custom dashboard, which is not associated to the Viva connection, which is really cool. So if you build any cards using the ACE technology, ACEs or the SPFx, you can actually now start exposing those cards also in SharePoint, which is really cool. But that's a quick update from my side. Let's move on within the journey.
Awesome. Thank you, Vesa. So next, we're going to do some updates from our open source projects.
So this time we had no new blog posts, and we have our PnP blog. If you want to share the knowledge with the community, you are more than welcome to do so. Every voice matters, and if you do so and contribute to our blog, you will get a blog author badge. So happy blogging, everybody, and that's a quick update from my side. That's it. Let's move on.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. All right. For the newest kid on the block is our latest repository, which is our Copilot prompt library. So if you have instructions or prompts that you found helpful while working with AI, you might want to share those with others, or if you're just looking for some inspiration on how to best leverage some prompts and instructions with your AI, you can check out this repository at aka.ms/pnp/prompt/library. And if you give us a really nice prompt, you might become the prompt of the week, like Dinesh here. So Dinesh submitted a prompt on what are the new features in SPFx version whatever. And so as these updates roll out, and if you've missed Vesa's update, you can always ask what are the new features in SPFx with the version number, and it will provide you a nice list of updates in that version. Thank you again, Dinesh, and congrats. All right, and then on the PnP.js side, we did a release 4.13 a couple of days ago. This was just a maintenance update, so no new changes, just packages and documentation. As we've mentioned a couple times, version 3 support has ended. Please upgrade to version 4, and we're actively working on version 5 and hope to provide some updates on that in the near future. If you have any questions, you can go to pnp.github.io/pnp.js. All right, Gary.
Oh, hello. I'm
there we
hopefully good. Hopefully you can hear me. The
We
mic
can.
just went a bit weird then. Okay, CLI for Microsoft 365 v10.8 beta release. So we've got new commands for SharePoint embedded. So if you're using that, you can now list the container permissions. And there's also an update for the M365 CLI login. So you can now use federated identity in Azure DevOps pipelines as well, which is really cool. So if you want to try out the latest beta, use the @next tag from npm. Use the next tag if you're using the Docker container as well. There's a few other enhancements, updates as usual. Go to aka.ms/CLI-M365/notes to see all of the updates. Next slide. So we have a new release, a new beta release of Dev Proxy. So something that's really cool that we're interested in at the moment is LLM usage. So now we log out the usage using OpenTelemetry. So this is where you can get all the metrics around all the tokens and even costs of your requests to your LLMs in the cloud. We've also updated our TypeSpec generator plugin because there's a new V1 release of TypeSpec, and there was a couple of breaking changes, so we've updated that. We've updated our DevTools plugin as well, so you can use Chrome Edge DevTools to inspect the Dev Proxy output. And something that's really interesting, something that's brand new, if you're a .NET Aspire dev, we have an extension for .NET Aspire that enables you to easily integrate Dev Proxy into your application. So you can use it for mocking and latency, all the good stuff that we provide, but we also put all the metrics out into the dashboard as well. So it's all included in your Aspire metrics. And we're looking to release this at the end of the month as well. So yeah, all done. Back to you.
Awesome. Super cool, super cool. Dev Proxy is a really great thing if you haven't used it and you are a dev. All right, next up, we have reusable SPFx controls with Alex.
Thank you, Bo. So for React controls, we are on version 3.21, property controls 3.20. Both were released at the end of the April. There are a lot of new controls like calendar, filter bar, share dialog, new localization, and of course, a lot of fixes. As always, thank you for all our contributors. You are doing great work for this repository, and we are working on the next version already, which will include support for 1.21.1 of SPFx and many other things that you provide to us as PRs. Thank you. Back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. And SharePoint Framework Toolkit with Adam.
Yeah, so we had a new minor release, 4.7, which introduced support for 1.21.1 and all of our related to this version actions in this toolkit. And then we had 3 pre-releases since this minor release, so we are really iterating fast on this tool. Since now we have new maintainers, we are really moving really forward really fast. So we have GitHub Copilot LLM tools that basically allow you to do basic operations on your SharePoint Online, like create or remove a site or create and remove a list, all within a chat from the GitHub Copilot. Now in the latest update of VS Code, you can detach the chat view to a separate window, and like here in the screenshot, just have a chat next to your web page and chat what do you want the SPFx toolkit to create on your SharePoint Online. We renamed the manage command to info command to retrieve information from SharePoint Online. We changed the default SPFx up action from deploy to install. So in the management view, you will have the install icon as a default action on any SPFx app you have deployed on any of the app catalogs. And we now added more support to install the proper version of Node.js with direct link to the Node.js and recommendation to use NVM or NVS, which is super helpful when doing SPFx toolkit, which most probably in future we want to default to. And a lot more, so give this a try if you're doing any kind of SharePoint framework development. Sorry for taking a lot of time. And back to you, Bo. Happy coding, everybody, by the way.
Wow, thank you. That's I have to check out that the LLM tools. That sounds awesome.
Well, waiting for feedback.
All right, I think Casper's not here, so I'll take on modern search. If you are from the classic world, or you're just adopting the modern experience, which I hope you aren't, but some were slower than others. PnP Modern Search is a really great reusable web parts to build really nice search experiences within the SharePoint environment. You can find information on at aka.ms/pnp-search. The current version is 4.16, and they're actively working on 4.17, which is in pre-release at this time. All right, and we have PNP SPFx samples with Hugo.
Don't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me. All right, we have SPFx samples, web parts and extensions in repositories that you can contribute to. And these samples are available for you to learn how to do some cool stuff with SPFx. These are the latest updates. We've got an update to the organization directory, the Engage Hub by Sandeep. And we have an update to the image editor to the latest version of SPFx by Peter Paul Kirshner. And we have an update to the modern carousel by Sandeep PS. Great thing is about all these updates are now using the latest version of SPFx, so you can play with them. All these samples are available by going to aka.ms/community/samples. And if you want to contribute, you can go to aka.ms/spfx-webparts, and you'll get a fancy contributor badge to recognize your cool work. Thanks to everyone who's contributing, and back to you, Bo.
Awesome. Thank you, Hugo. All right, next up, we have SPFx Aces. Anoop.
Yes, hi. So SPFx Aces, we do not have any new samples this week, but just to let you know, Aces, these are the adaptive card extensions, which enable user to view information quickly at a glance, or you can interact with them as shown in the examples over there. So these can fetch information from external sources or from any other internal systems. So Microsoft provides some of the Aces out of the box. We can create our own custom Aces using SPFx, and one place to find such custom Aces is the SPFx Aces repository, aka.ms/spfx-aces, to take a look and contribute samples over there. Back to you, Bo.
Awesome. Thank you, Anoop. All right, it's that time. Picture time. Get those cameras ready.
That's right. Let's go ahead and do the screen share. I'll take over that real quick here. All right, very good. And where'd my teams go? Hello, teams. Come on, teams. There we go. All right, yep, looking good. Seeing everybody. We see the interwebs are catching up. The bandwidth is buffering, so we'll give everybody just a second. We're doing good on time here, so we'll got a little extra few minutes here we'll learn about in a moment. Hugo has got the pose. That's right. We've got the pose. We got some young ones coming in. That's right, training them right. So let's give everybody just another second or two. So we have that opportunity. Love to see as many faces as possible. Love to see all the smiling faces. Yeah, Hugo is pontificating. Steph's down there. Great to see everybody. Let's give it just one more second where Teams has everybody's opportunity. Vesa and Hugo are calling each other out. Wait, if you go up to Hugo, we can start a chain. See, there's Peter Paul down there. Right, there we go. Yeah. Okay, let's give the countdown. 3, 2, 1. All right, looking good, everybody. Let's wave to the community, tell them and show them how awesome you are. We really appreciate everything you're doing. Again, we would not be possible to have these without all of your dedication and passion for the community. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right, Bo, we'll give it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. I just want to say, Mark really loves to attend class here. He doesn't just show up once. He shows up 20 times in our picture time. So shout out to Mark.
He really shows up.
All right. It is demo time. Unfortunately, we did have one cancellation after we started this call. Shubham will not be able to make it. So Aimery, you have some extra time if you need that extra time. But we have two great demos. First, Aimery going to show us his SharePoint Hackathon newsletter contest project.
Yes, thank you, Bo. Let me share my screen. Okay.
All good. Take it away.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Aimery Thomas. I'm a modern workplace consultant at Avanade, and I'm also a Microsoft MVP for SharePoint and M365 development. So today I'm going to talk to you about a dynamic newsletter promotion solution that I've built using SharePoint Framework. And I built this solution as a submission for the SharePoint Hackathon, which took place last March. This hackathon goal was to build solutions using AI and the latest SharePoint features. Multiple categories were available in this hackathon, but for my submission, I chose the most creative intranet with extensibility category. So about my submission, so this is an intranet portal of a company where employees can choose to promote their favorite newsletters. And it uses the following components. So first, the PNP Modern Search solution that you already know probably. Then the PNP Modern Search like component, which is a custom web component that I use to extend the PNP Modern Search solution. I actually did a demo of this component in a community call a few weeks ago. So if you want, you can watch the recording. And I'm also using the most liked page component, which is an active card extension that I've also built using the SharePoint framework. So let's move on to the demo of my solution. So here we are on the home site of the intranet, which is actually a hub site. From this home site, you can access different department sites of the company. And as you can see, each department site has its own newsletters. So each department team, for instance, here the HR team, can create and publish their newsletters directly from their department site. So now, as an employee, if I want to promote a specific newsletter that I especially liked or found especially interesting, I can click on this little button here that will take me on this page where I can directly access all the newsletters from all the different departments of the company directly at one place. So I can see the banner of the newsletter, the title, but also the department of the newsletter. And I can choose to like or unlike any newsletters that I want. I can also choose to display only newsletters of a specific department if I want to. So if I switch to edit mode of the page to show you how I build that. So for this menu here, I've used one of the web part of the PNP Modern Search solution, which is the PNP Search Verticals. And to display the newsletters, I'm using another web part of the PNP Modern Search solution, which is PNP Search Results web part. And for the like button that you can see here, this is my custom web component that allow me to use the standard SharePoint like feature directly from the search results web part. So that's pretty cool. So now if I go back on the home page of my intranet. As you can see here, I have the Viva Connection dashboard with multiple cards. But the first one here is highlighting the most liked newsletter of my intranet, which is this one. And if I click on details, I can see all the most liked newsletters of my intranet, with the title of the newsletter, the department of the newsletter, and also, of course, the number of likes. And if I quickly switch to the dashboard page, so when I add this card to my dashboard, I can define the title of the card, and I can also select or unselect the site that I want to use as source to get newsletters. So I can even add more sites if I want to. And yes, that's it for me. Thank you very much. Back to you, Bo.
Awesome, fantastic, and a really nice use of the PnP modern search web parts.
Right. Hey everyone, my name is Ejaz Hussain. I'm a developer architect for a company called Advania UK. I'm based in UK. So I'm also MVP. Last year was my first year in MVP program. So today I'm presenting this session on creating a custom Richtext editor web part with Fluent UI and RoosterJS. So before we get into this one, I just wanted to go to the agenda. So we'll see what the problem I was trying to solve for one of my clients, and why I gone into this route, and then why I choose the RoosterJS. And then we look into the implementation detail, demos of the feature, and probably the next steps. So what was the problem? So the problem I was trying to solve was I was using TinyMCE, which is really, really nice, rich text editor, extensible as well. But the problem I was using the open source free version, I think 6 point something. But now I couldn't use that free version anymore. They said it's not compliant. You have to have a either licensed version, which is the latest, or which is, I think that we have a 7 or 8 version. I don't remember. In summary, we couldn't go ahead, and the license cost was too high in terms of for so many users. So and then we said, okay, if you can't use this one, is there any alternate approach? Is there an alternate available which can give us similar functionality, and also can give us a full control over the source code, and we can build ourselves some of the plugin and meet the business needs. So after researching and going through it, and what I found is RoosterJS. So RoosterJS is a Microsoft open source project, and it's a framework independent JavaScript rich text editor. It is a content model base, so it's like the middle path before you actually change anything. You have a content model base, and then modular and extensible. You can build. It has a plugin extensibility. You can build your own module and plugins, and is open source, so you have a full control over the code base as well. You can download the code and make changes and in your own copy and add your own functionality on top of that, what is happening. And that's what exactly I did as well, and I can show you in a minute. So we look into a bit more detail of what it's inside the Rooster. Before I go in here, I can just show you quickly. Probably, I think the worth looking into this. What's inside the RoosterJS? We have a core packages, about 6 of them, and this is, I think, from the Rooster 9, the latest version. They have divide different functionality into different packages, like the core package, API, DOM, plugin types. But if you really need a simple straight away out of the box, You don't need to get all of the other ones. You can just get the RoosterJS and you can start using the editor. Again, it's just you need a one div element in your JavaScript and call the RoosterJS, off you go. But if you need to build something on top of that, then you need the core API and all the other and plugins and types, etc. as well. It also has 2 extensions, RoosterJS color utilities, and it also has the integration support for the markdown as well. So please do check that as well. So let me show you what it looks like out of the box. So if I go in here, so if I just move this guy on there, so this is what it looks like out of the box. So you can go into this one, RoosterJS, and it has this implementation, all of the main, the normally which you get out of the box, all of the usual stuff. For Richtext editor, it has some support for you can, if you expand this one here, and you can add some tables. You can, and there's some more context around the tables as well, add and remove, adding colors and etc. So this is out of the box, so you can play around. So you can go ahead and start playing with this one in here, and there are some links over there. I think it's really useful. This is like pointing to the legacy demo, but there is a wiki page, but which is, I'm not sure if they have updated. It's still pointing to the old one. But if you go to the reference one, API RoosterJS API reference, you can go into each individual module to find out what each method is doing and what are the parameters you need and what, etc. So it's really, really cool. They have published this one here. Here's all the documentation for each method. It's really, really helpful for me as well. So yeah, please check out this one as well. And then if you move into the presentation, so now from here, and then we thought, okay, this seems like a good it's a Microsoft open source, is a rich text editor with JavaScript rich text. There's no more dependency apart from this one, and we can just build on top of that. So what we did is, okay, I decided to use created a SPFx web part with Fluent UI 9, the latest version, and then play around with it, see if might be able to use this one and to build a web part which has this functionality. So today it's a really basic kind of thing, like functionality. I have not added too many functionality into it web part, but this give you as a starting point, and then you can build on top of that what you want to do for your client. So let me quickly show you a demo what it looks like, and then we can look into the next steps as well. So give me 1 second to show a right. Okay, so if I added this, so this is what it looks like. So this is as I said, I've just added about 10 or 12 controls in the ribbon, but this will give you an idea, like you can start adding more functionality control in the ribbon as you go along based on what your requirement is. I think I'm also looking into some as a second release where I'll be adding few more as well. So so yeah, this is basically Richtext editor. You can move like headings, change the headings, font size, as you see. So more inspiration was the out of the box. If you look at the out of box text web part, so this is where my more inspiration come from. So you can see here, so they have a similar UI, and this is where my inspiration was basically use the Fluent UI 9, so we can have a kind of a similar experience for the user. So in here, if I select an image, you can see every out of the box control to expand and set this height of the image as well. So that comes out of the box plugins available within. There are a few out of the box plugin available, so that's one of them. And then for the the link, for example, if I want to add the link in here, it doesn't give you any like a UI kind of thing for your web part, so you have to build yourself, but it gives you the API function behind the scenes. So for example, if I want to add a link, I've added this popover on click of this my dialog, so I can add some link here, let's say, and then it will add the link. So you can basically add your own UI, and depends what you want to do that. So again, image, I can select some images. So again, so it's, and then if I look at the recently, I think it's not in the version which I have last submitted to PNP repo. Last night I added this functionality, which is a source code. So, and I will be shipping this few more as well later in this month as well, another version for this one. So if I click on this one, and I could see the full source code here for, I just added the image, and it's basically used the base64 to display this image. So if I, for example, I think the idea was to use this source code. Source code is, if I go ahead and add, get any, let's suppose I have some videos to embed. Part of my, I think that's one of the requirement comes from as well from one of our client. So I said, okay, I think if we have a embedded video to embed, so how can we do that? So I'm going to just get the embedded code from the YouTube, and I'm going to stick in here for the iframe, and you could see here your videos. I'm going to press save and see what it looks like. Right, so this is like exactly the same UI in the front end. So basically, so it's the same nice experience you see on the display mode as well. So so that's what it's the Richtext editor. I can show you the quickly code. But before I show you the code, I think the link is already might be pasted by David in the chat for the repo. But let me show you the code. How did I implemented that? And then we can see if you have any question. So to start with, simple. I will go to my web part class. So where is data is being saved? I'm saving in the property pane. So if I just show you this my editor content. So in the web part property, I'm saving that data. So whatever the user is changing in the Richtext editor, I'm saving into that one of the property called editor content. And if I go into container, and this is just usual stuff. So this is the main thing. So again, this code can be refactored to meet your requirement. So my idea was just to, provide something so you can start work on. So what we're doing here, if you start with, so first of all, if you go to the plugin, no, before on the top, sorry. So there are some initial plugin which is out of the box available in the RoosterJS. So auto format plugin, it has some hyperlink, edit plugin, paste plugin. There's some option you can define in the paste plugin whether you want to keep the source formatting out of the box, or you want to use the target formatting. So it depends. So you can set all these in out of the box one. There is some table added plugins. Okay, but I have not implemented the UI, so that might be coming in the later versions. Some watermark plugin, and there's markdown plugins and image edit plugin. So when you saw me expanding the image height and width, this is where it's come from. So there's a few of the plugins are available out of the box in the RoosterJS. But then what I did was I'd go and added my own 2 plugins. So if you can see on the left hand side, I've defined so this is a Rooster. There's a 2 plugin, Rooster plugin and update plugin. So I've created these 2 plugins. So this is like a usual interface to create those 2 plugins. So basically you can on plugin events, you can pick up like on certain type of event what your what you plug in. You need to handle some tasks, or which when user performs certain task or press certain button, then you can pick up those plugin, look at the plugin events, and do any further processing on top of that. So so after initializing, if I go back to Rooster, my main class. Okay, so if I so after defining the plugins, this is the main thing with the in initial one. In the first part of the load, I'm defining, okay, this is my default format, this is my plugins, and this is the initial model which I'm creating from my HTML, which is actual, you see the HTML in the editor. So this is my initial editor initialization, and then this is where you are initializing the editor, Rooster editor, based on which div. So you need a div reference to give him a reference and the option, and that's it, and you're ready to go. So, but before I go and render stuff, I'm going to show you the ribbon control. So ribbon control I'm getting here. So ribbon control, basically I built, as you can see here. So all redo, undo. So this can be heading, font size. So all of these options are available in the ribbon control. So if you factored more, what you can do is basically create some use Rooster or some other hooks, and then pass this information from your web part. So your web part doesn't know about any of those implementation of the Rooster, so you can basically build that way as well, and that's what I did for my clients as well. So now, so this is what we and these are the ribbon controls. If I can show you all of a couple of them from here. So for example, if I go to align center button, so when it get clicked, we get set alignment API functions from the RoosterJS, and then it basically because the center line and passing the center, it is align center, and then these are the out of the box like a block code, etc. But here I want to show you the insert link. So look, if you insert link, because this is the custom thing I built on top of that, so API, it gives you just API, but doesn't give you any kind of the dialogue or any UI behind it. So what I did is I built my own, so I can show you shortly. So yeah, this is how I build all the controls, and then I pass this control to my ribbon, so ribbon can render that. So if I go back and go into this ribbon control again, sorry, let me just click here. Okay, here. So now we're going to go to ribbon control. We're passing the editor, we're passing the control, some handlers, and some plugins. So if I go in here, so what I'm doing is I'm going through all my control, and I'm rendering here. So for example, if it's a source code, I build a separate source code dialog. And then if it's a link, or if it's a separator, a toggle, then all the toggle will go into this one. And if there's a drop down, will go in here. And if it's a button, it will just go in here. So that way you can just keep adding your control. And if there's any control does not meet any of those types, you can add your own one. So if I go into, for example, I mean, if it's that buttons or downloads, they can the API is being called where we have defined the controls. But when in terms of the insert link popover, we can go into a separate component. And what happened here is it's just simple. Popover came up, and then we handle the submit. We will put the text, we put the URL, and then we call this insert link. And the insert link is under the Rooster API, one of the function. So you pass the editor, pass the URL and display text, it will create a link for you. So simple is that. And same way I did the source code as well, source code dialog. So you create a dialog, and once you're ready, then there is a method called editor format content, and then you get the latest. Allow some other additional allowed tags. For example, iframe, you want to allow the iframe. By default is not allowed iframe, but you can use additional allowed tags to enable this. And then you go ahead and save in the model due to this format content model. So now if I go back to ribbon control, so it basically build your ribbon control like that, all of them. And I think if I see, is there any else? I think that's about it. And if I had initially, I had some issue with an insert link. Was not working, so I had to bring down the code from the from the source code and to play around with it, debug it to make it work. But eventually, I think it was working fine for me. So yeah, that's all from me. And if we going back to the presentation, I think the couple of things which if I show you as the next steps are, so I think what you could do is basically you can integrate this with your line of business really easily because you have a full control. For example, SharePoint list, you can bring the attach the SharePoint list and show any data for any column within the rich text editor from the dropdown, and then you can build the preview functionality. AI assistant you can integrate, and source code I've just built on the last night, so I'll be adding into the next release as well. That's all from me. If you have any question, please go.
Awesome. That's fantastic. There is one question in the chat. That was, is the rich text indexed? And you may want to implement properties metadata getter. So curious how, like, I assume some aspects of this, some HTML gets put into the page itself, maybe in Canvas content 1, but what about the other content? Are there any thoughts about how we could get this indexed within a SharePoint page?
No, I mean I've not thought it through in terms of the indexing into the SharePoint page. So what is actually what they mean by indexing into SharePoint page?
So you could store some of the content in the properties of the web part or something in the page, right? So when you do a SharePoint search against maybe some text within the editor, it would come up in the search experience.
Yeah, right. Okay. No, so yeah, I think I probably have not come across the scenario, but yeah, it's worth exploring. Might be from if there's different ways we can achieve that, but yeah, I've not come across that scenario.
Awesome. Well, very cool. That was a very awesome demo. I'm going to check that out. And I think we have a reusable control that may be able to benefit from the RoosterJS library. So that might be something interesting to do as well. All right, get back to share my screen. All right, so once again, round of applause for everyone who demoed today. Thank you so much for those demos. All right, we do appreciate feedback about these calls. So if you really like the call, please give us feedback. If you didn't like the call, just send your complaints to Hugo. Just kidding, please let us know so we can always improve. If you aren't a part of our Discord server, please join us. So we do have all our blog posts there, some really nice conversations. It's a place you can share information, ask questions, and stay up to date on all the things that are coming out. We have somewhere around 3,000 members, and it's continuing to grow. And you can join us at ak.ms/community/Discord or scan that QR code directly on your screen. And finally, thank you so much for everyone who could attend and everyone who has presented and everyone who has shared updates on all of our projects. This recording will be available in 24 hours on our YouTube, and our next Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework call will be May 29th at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And our next M365 Power Platform call is June 5th at 7 a.m. Pacific time as well. Thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a good rest of your week.